Hi, I am so glad you could stop by. Today I'd like to tell you the story of Noah. Um, in Noah's day, and some of you might be familiar with the story of Noah and the ark, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start back at creation. So we have the creation of man, the creation of the world, those 6 days, seventh day God rested, and then we have what we call the fall of man, where sin entered the world through disobedience of one man. And then by the time Noah gets born, God said that he was sorry he created man and that he made creation. He was grieved. He hurt. It made him so sad. If you've ever had any grief, if you've ever had any loss, you're grieved. That's what that emotion is. And he regretted that he made humankind and man and all of creation, because every thought they had from childhood was wicked. It was evil. It was vile. And so in even through sin, not just mankind gets spoiled and turned rotten, but all of creation was made rotten. And so God's like, I'm going to destroy it. But Noah found favor with God. The Bible tells us that Noah was a righteous man and he faithfully walked with God. That meant Noah's heart, even though Noah had sin in his life, because we're not perfect, no one was perfect but Jesus, who is going to come much later, of course. But Noah, his heart was towards God. And it wasn't evil, it wasn't wicked. And he walked faithfully with God. He was day in and day out. Noah was seeking the Lord and walking with the Lord and doing what God asked. He was being obedient to God. And we see through the story of the ark that Noah was very obedient, because he made the ark just like God said. God told him, look, Noah, because God talked to Noah all the time. In Genesis, in the account in Genesis, I don't remember how many times I made bullet points in my notes of God told Noah, God told Noah, God told Noah. So God talked to Noah all the time, and God heard Noah. And God will talk to you too. You just have to listen. You have to listen for God and have your heart towards God and be faithful to God, and He will speak to you. He speaks to us. And so God told Noah how to build the ark. He said, I'm sorry, I'm grieved about making creation, but you are a righteous man. You, Noah, have found favor in my eyes, and you walk with me faithfully. And I want you to build an ark. And in this ark, I want you to make it of cypress wood. I want you to cover it with pitch, which is like a tar. Like when they make the roads, that asphalt, that goo that holds all that together, that's tar. And put it on the inside and on the outside, so it would make the ark waterproof. It wouldn't get waterlogged and sink. It would float. And in this ark, I want you to make rooms. One version says stables, that made more sense to me, because you would put a horse in a stable, or livestock, you put them in stables. You don't put them in a room. So that kind of made more sense to me. But I'm sure he made rooms for Noah, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And God wanted Noah and Noah's wife and their 3 sons and their 3 sons' wives to go in the ark to be saved. And God was going to provide safety and provision for Noah with the ark. Now, not just Noah, but all the animals. God told Noah, you're going to need you're going to need 2 of every kind of animal and every kind of bird. Everything that moves along the ground, every wild animal, livestock, every creature that moves along the ground, every winged bird, you're going to need 2 of each put in the ark. Go get them. No, he didn't say that. He said, they'll come to you. God sent them. It actually says in the word, the animals, pairs of animals, a male and a female, came to Noah. Wouldn't that be such a relief that he didn't have to go out and find, now God, is this the one you want? Or is this the one, is this a male or is this a female? You know how much time that would take? Oh my word. Okay, so God sent all the creatures to Noah, a male and a female. Every winged creature, every creature that moves along the ground. And do you ever wonder why he saved mosquitoes and flies? I gotta tell you, I wonder those things sometimes. And fleas and ticks. Why do we need these? Anyway, I'm sure they're food for something, and I'm sure that's why they were saved. So, but I just had a thought. Before the flood, remember, back in Genesis, or we're still in Genesis, but back in creation, they're just eating plants. So the mosquitoes and the flies wouldn't be food for frogs yet. Why were they kept alive? That's what I want to know. Oh well. Anyway, so God sent 2 of every creature to Noah to put in the ark. Now God also told Noah exactly how big to make the ark. The ark was I'm going to start with how long it was. The ark was 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet tall. I got it right this time. You have no idea how many times I've made this video. Okay, 45 feet tall. And so that's huge. It's huge. It's like 3 stories tall. If you go look at a building, actually I think it's 4. I did the math. I forget at this moment. See, I don't have my notes because I just thought I was just supposed to tell the story. So anyway, 3 or 4 story building so your house, you have a 1-story house. So think about your house, 3 or 4 stacked on top of each other. That's really tall, isn't it? That's a big boat. That is a very big boat. And so if that, if you have 3 of those high and it's 450 feet long, that's 10 times that. That's a big, big boat. It's a big boat. It's huge. So anyway, so you have this 450 foot long boat. It's 75 feet wide and it's 45 feet high. It's 4 houses tall, more or less. That's a big boat. But it needed to be big to have all those animals and to float. You know why it needed to be that big? Because the floods were coming. Now, up until then, it had not rained. God watered the earth with the dew. You know how like when you get up in the summer and you get outside first thing, everything is wet? That's the dew. That's how God watered the earth at first. It hadn't rained yet. But God told Noah, rain's coming. Get ready. And so Noah was 600 years old. And in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of Noah's 600th year, they all went into the ark. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, and all the animals that had come to Noah, because God sent them all to him, put them all in the ark. And God told Noah to build rooms in the ark, to have a roof on the ark, and an opening, which I'm thinking is a window. It's about 18 inches from the top of the roof down. Because, can you imagine all that animal air in there with no ventilation system? It just would not, I don't think they would have lived. I don't, because that's a lot of stinkiness. It's a lot of gases going on. So I think it was for ventilation so they could see and just so they could have some air moving through the ark. And then, so on the 17th day of the 2nd month of Noah's 600th year, so Noah's 600 years old, Noah and his family and all the animals, and all the birds, and all the creatures that move on ground go into the ark. And God shuts them in. Don't you love that? I just love that. God shut the door. God shut the door and shut them in. And then the rain started. Not just the rain. So we had rain coming down, but it says the deep burst forth. So and the springs of the deep burst forth. So all the water that was deep in the ground, like some people have wells, and the water comes up through the well, and there's like springs, like if you're, there's places where the water bubbles up and it's called a spring because it just springs up from the ground. So the deep, all the water that was underground and deep, all came up. And so the rains came down and the waters burst up. And so you had this flood, and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights straight. 40 days, 40 nights, water coming up, water coming down, flooded the whole entire earth. The Bible tells us in Genesis 5, Genesis 6, 7, 8, 9, in there, that's the story of Noah. It tells us that even the tallest mountains were like 20 feet underwater. That's a lot of water, child. That is a lot of water. You just think the highest mountain being underwater by 20 foot. So this boat had to be big. The ark had to be huge. Had to be. And of course, that was why it was covered with pitch in and out. It was so, because if you have that much water, if you've ever been fishing, you know that, yes, wood floats to a point. Now, the Bible tells us they were in that ark for a total, all in all, they did not come out of the ark until Noah was 601 years old. On the 27th day of the second month, I believe it is, they come out of the ark. So like they're in that ark a full 110 days. Not 110 days, 1 year and 10 days. They come out of the ark. And so if you're going to, and yeah, the waters receded and went down, and they still stayed in the ark until the land was dry. So, but when you have that much water, if you've ever been fishing, you know that once wood gets waterlogged, we call it, it soaks up so much water, it sinks. And God did not want that boat to sink with those people and all those animals on there. So that was why he had it covered inside and out, and why God was so detailed about what Noah needed to do. And Noah was obedient. And God is a God of details. You can just go look at a leaf and look at all the veins in there and see that God is a God of detail. And so Noah, his family, 2 of every kind of animal. And he also took 7 pairs, so a male and a female, 7 pairs of every clean animal and every clean bird. And that was for sacrificing for later, for God, as an offering to God. God said, after the year, after a year and 10 days, God said, okay, y'all, time to come out. And when he did, Noah thanked God and praised God for keeping them safe. And Noah built an altar. He sacrificed some of those clean animals on it to God. And I hear Josie. Sorry, distracted. And God blessed Noah, and he made a covenant with Noah. Now, God told Noah before he went into the ark, before they ever went into the ark, when God told Noah, I'm going to destroy every living creature on earth and all of mankind, but I will make my covenant with you. He told him that before he ever put him in the ark. I'm going to make my covenant with you. I'm going to make my promise with you. And so when they come out of the ark, God gives Noah a sign, something that Noah can see and know. God made a promise to me. And we see it still today. Do you know what it is? It's the rainbow. God put the rainbow in the sky for us to remember. Because God's not going to forget. God doesn't forget. The Bible does say, I will remember. Well, when God remembers, he acts. So that's like another whole study there. But the rainbow is for us to see, to remind us that God will never destroy the earth again by flood of the whole entire earth. There's flooding, and there's floods that happen for all different reasons. But God will never destroy the whole entire earth ever again by floodwaters. And he promised us that. He made a covenant, which is a really, really solid promise that he's not going to do it. And he gave us a sign, which is the rainbow. I hope you enjoyed the story of Noah. It is true. It's the word of God. And go look for a rainbow. I love you. You have a blessed day.